Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I will show you how to set up the lucky spin wheel device in your UEFN map. You can find the answers for this video in our Discord server. The link will be provided in the description below. With that said, let's dive straight into the video. So, after you got all of the answers for this video, you should get 3 files. One is a folder, the next one is a text document, and the last one is a Photoshop file. The folder contains all of the assets and files UEFN needs to actually make the system work. Then the text document contains a ready to use setup you can just paste into your map with all of the devices and static meshes already placed. Then the last one is the Photoshop file. In the Photoshop file you can change the appearance of the wheel, like for example the color or the prices on the wheel. Now, to actually get started, you first have to open up UEFN and load up into your project. After you load it up into your project, you have to go to the top left to project to find your map in your files. So, click on project and click on show project in Explorer. A new window should show. Here, click on the folder with the name content. And then if the previous window is still here, you can just close this window. Now, this content folder is basically the content drawer that you have in UEFN. Now, to actually get started, you have to drag the folder that you got from us into the content folder. So, you open up the zip file or the folder that you got from us and drag the subfolder with the name Lucky Wheel UEFN into the contents folder. Once you have done that, go back to UEFN, open up the content drawer and check if the folder is here. If the folder is here, that's great. At first it should have nothing because we first have to restart UEFN. So I'm just going to restart UEFN. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so when you're back in your UEFN map again and everything is loaded, open up your content drawer again and open up the folder you just imported. Check if every file is here. It should contain a few folders, a static mesh, the first device, a material, another static mesh, and a blueprint class. Now, the first thing we're gonna do is compile the first code. So, there are two ways to do this. One way is to go to the top of UEFN and go to compile first. Click on this button and you basically compiled your first code. Now, if for any reason you don't see this button here, you could also go to the top left of UEFN to first, left click, and then click on compile first code here. Now, after you compiled your first code again, open up your content drawer and drag and drop the first device in your map. If you see every option here in the details page, then you know you're on the right track. Now we're ready for step 2. Go back to the folder that you got from us and open up the text document. This text document has a few things we have to change. For example, here you see a name that says replace this. So obviously we have to replace that. There's one easy way to do this. If you have Windows, you can just do it in Notepad, and otherwise you may have to download a software with the name Notepad++. I will also leave a link in the description for that one, but for now we're just going to do it in the Notepad. So this little text has to be changed to the name of your map. So if I look at the top left of UEFN, I see game setup. This is the name of my map. For example, if your map has the name Apple, it should display Apple here. Now, to actually replace all of the little names here, there's one one easy plugin that the notepad has. You just go to edit here, then search for replace, then at the top write replace this, and then at the bottom write your island name. So for me it's game setup. Make sure that the uppercase letters are correctly placed. Now if your island name is spelled correctly, you can click on replace all. Now you should see that the replace this has changed to your island name. Now once you've confirmed that it has changed to your island name, select all of this text, copy it, go to UEFN and paste it into here. Now just move it a little closer to where you want it to be. Now you should see a few devices. You should see 6 triggers, 6 item granters, 1 item spawner, the first device and the conditional button, and obviously some sound effects. So we're just going to dive straight into the first device. So the first setting here is free spin cooldown. This is basically the cooldown the players would have until the players will get a free spin. The time here is displayed in seconds. On default it's set on 24 hours, but you can obviously change it to whatever you want. I'll just keep it at 24 hours for now. Now the next setting is price slots. It should come with 6 array elements. If there are no elements, you can also just click on the plus here. Now each element has a few settings you can set up. We're going to start off with the first one. It needs a chance, which is basically the chance it's basically the chance that the player could get this prize. So let's say I want the player to have a 20% chance to get the first prize. I would have to write 20 here. Now, as you may expect, the first array is also the first prize, so which is in this case red. The next array, which is index 1, is the second prize, so orange, and then so on. So index 2 will be the yellow prize, index 3 will be the green, and just so on. So for now you can just keep everything as it was, so at the chance at 16.6, but if you want to change it, you can obviously just do that, but for now we're just going to keep it like this. Now the next thing they're asking us is a win trigger. Those triggers are placed here already. Now you have to read the triggers as the top one would be the first prize and the bottom one would be the last prize. So the first trigger closest to the first device is red, the next one is orange, the next one is yellow, and so on. So we would have to connect the win trigger here to this trigger, which also has the name reward 1. Then do that for every single prize that you have. Once you've done that, you can scroll all the way to the first array element again, and then the next thing they're asking us is a reward image. You can set this to whatever you want. It would basically show the player what they have won. For example, if they had won these coins, you can put a photo of a coin here. So then you first would have to import the photo into UEFN, and then you can select it in the first device. I'll just keep it on the present right now, but you can always change it later. Then the next thing it's asking us is the reward name. You can set this to whatever you want, but I do recommend you setting it to something that relates to your price, or maybe just the name of your price. As default it's set to reward red because the first price here is the red price. and then the next price is orange. But as already said, you can change this to whatever prices you will put into here. With that said, the price lots are actually done already. Now the parents are a few settings that you can just leave at default. It's basically for the UI animation. Then the next setting it's asking us is the visuals. This one is also just set up automatically. If I were you, I should also not touch this because it could break some things. Now the audios. The audios we have is a purchase feel, purchase OK, and a tick sound. Now for purchase feel, you should select the bottom audio player. Purchase OK. You should select the middle audio player. And for the tick sound, you should select the top audio player. Let's just recheck. Tick, success, error. That's set up correctly. Now we can go to the next setting, which is shop. The shop is basically when a player is trying to buy a spin. For example, the UI shows that the player can buy, for example, 10 spins or 4 spins. You can the settings to buy it, you can just configure it here. Then the open button, that's a button to open up the spin wheel UI. You can set this one just to the button below the spin wheel. And with that said, we're just done already. And lastly, for the setup, I forgot to set up one thing, which is a conditional button. To set this one up, you have to go to the shop, and then the purchase button should be connected to the conditional button. Now we can try it out in game. So I'll just grab some gold. As you can see, everything is working right. That's really great. If you have any issues or any questions about the system, feel free to send me a DM on Discord or open up a ticket. Now, if you found this video helpful, please leave a like and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.